Hi guys, Mike with Fights with Friends here. And I was just wondering the other day, and maybe you guys have wondered this before, what happens to all those UFC belts and how much are they really worth? What are they made out of? So the UFC doesn't skimp when it comes to their championship belts. They are made from real gold. How heavy? How much gold? 12 pounds of gold. Highest estimate has came in. Chris Weidman famously got his belt appraised at $333,000 just in the gold that's in the belt. So that's maybe one of the reasons that prior to UFC on Fox 24, Demetrius Johnson called out UFC management for not awarding him with a new belt for each of his successful flyweight title defenses. And there's been a rumor that that's how it's done. Every time you defend the belt, you get a new one. UFC President Dana White heard the comments, and he plans to make things right with Mighty Mouse. In the lead up to his record-tying 10th consecutive UFC title defense, which came against Wilson Rise, Johnson said the promotion had given him just one belt to take home and keep. He said he was disappointed since he wants a new belt for each defense so he can replicate photos taken by champions like Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward via Instagram. Of course, Roy Jones Jr. could have made some good Instagram photos back in the day, too. He had a ton of belts from a ton of weight classes. Same thing with Mayweather. Johnson actually admitted he was pissed by the situation, but after matching Anderson Silva's long-standing title defense record with a third-round submission of Reese, Dana White said more belts will soon be delivered, though it's easier said than done. I'm going to get him his belts, White told Megan Olivier at UFC.com after the event. He's definitely keeping the belt from tonight, and I guess I've got some catching up to do. Listen, that's not the way it works. People don't win belts every time. You defend your title and you keep your belt. If we're handing out belts every single defense here, that's a lot of money. It would be a lot of money to get him 8 more belts. To be honest with you, we don't even have 8 more belts. We order them as we do events. It's going to be a little bit of backup on his belts, but we'll get it done. Johnson further addressed the belt situation at UFC on Fox 24's post-event news conference. He said there's no question he'll take home the strap wrapped around his waist after the dominant victory over Reese, which will boost his total collection to 2 UFC belts. He said that would be enough to hold him over, but only for now. And eventually, Dana White did come through, as you can see the picture here, got him 8 more belts, and there he is in the picture. You can see standing with 10 UFC belts. Forget about the purse. Since 2012, Demetrius Johnson, for his defense, has $3.3 million in gold just for those belts. And you might want to say maybe that's a bit bossy of him, but Demetrius Johnson doesn't ask for a lot. And I feel like he's a treasure to the UFC, and I think this is a pretty cool thing. Now, a lot of the boxers that you see, like I know when Roy Jones Jr. used to come down with the belts. I don't know if that's the same thing now. They were all from individual organizations. When you're in the UFC, you're not going to be fighting for different organizations. You're going to fight. You might end up with double belts like DJ and Connor because you won belts in 2 separate divisions. But good on the UFC to get Demetrius these belts. I mean, that's pretty neat. I started wondering about it actually when I seen a Metro PCS commercial and he was handing out belts. It's a pretty funny commercial.